What up, y'all? Nature Girl 30 here, and I know I haven't been doing a lot of videos as of late because January and February I have been out of commission for both of those months because I've had the stomach flu twice. So yeah, I really wasn't in the mood to make videos at all. But now that we're pretty much on the road to WrestleMania and we are at Fastlane, which is the last pay-per-view before we hit WrestleMania 34, and the final SmackDown exclusive pay-per-view before after WrestleMania. Well, it should feel a lot larger than it is, but it's not. Most of these matches that we actually have on this pay-per-view have not had a decent build or no build at all. But I'm not going to say it's going to be a horrible pay-per-view. I really do think this pay-per-view, it has potential to be a really good one, especially the fact that 6 matches and it might be about 2.5 hours. Might be around that time, which is good. And I'm just guessing off the top of my head. I have no idea. But since we have actually 6 matches on the card, it wouldn't make any sense to have a kickoff. But I have no idea what they're going to do. They might just add 2 matches on the kickoff and then have the final 4 to be on the pay-per-view. That is just a guess. But right now, if they honestly, and this is just my humble opinion, I'm going to get into the predictions now. But in my humble opinion, if they really do want to start off with a kickoff, I really do believe they should start off with Becky Lynch and Naomi versus the cat lady, Natalya, and Miss Money in the Bank, Carmella. That match should definitely be on the kickoff, mainly because it was just randomly produced. This was produced on the Go Home show, guys. Just randomly thought up to have a match on this card. Makes 0 sense at all. So if they want to have it as a kickoff match, they really do need to have this as a kickoff match. And it really doesn't have, you really don't even need to predict anything with this because in my opinion, it looks like the face is going to come off on top. This is just going to be the starter match. We're going to have Becky Lynch and Naomi win here. Makes sense. And honestly, it does make sense that they're going to remind us even more about Carmella's Money in the Bank briefcase because she hasn't cashed it in since she's gotten it. Or since James Ellsworth got it for her and then she got it again. Yeah, that. But despite all that, I really do think that they're trying to hint a possible cash-in, not for Fastlane, but for WrestleMania 34. So they're kind of give us a little bit of foreshadowing to remind us that, hey, she's got the briefcase, anything can happen. But all in all, the faces will win here. Becky Lynch and Naomi is going to win here, regardless. So we have 2 standalone matches, and we have 4 championship matches, and another championship match that I think is going to be on the kickoff like it always is the U.S. title match. The U.S. title match always gets a shaft. Either it gets completely ignored or it gets put on the kickoff. And even if Randy Orton is on it, there's a chance it might be on the kickoff. So I'm just going to say that right now. Bobby Roode versus Randy Orton for the U.S. title. I doubt that Randy really wants it. I doubt it. And he might just put him over because they might pay him a crap ton of money. But regardless of that, it makes sense for Bobby Roode to actually have a lot of momentum going into WrestleMania 34. So I see him as winning. Do I think that Jinder Mahal is going to interfere? Yeah, I think that he is. And there's a good chance that we might have a one-on-one bout at WrestleMania 34 with him versus Jinder. Or Bobby Roode versus Jinder. So I think that Bobby Roode is going to remain a U.S. champion until WrestleMania 34 when he faces Jinder Mahal. They're going to try to make it a thing, guys. We just got to get over that. But anyway, that's who I think is going to win here. So let's get started with some of the matches that I believe is going to be on the card. I want to get into Shinsuke versus Rusev, and I think that match is going to be on the card. Number 1, Rusev doesn't have a match at WrestleMania 34. They have been giving him the shaft lately. On SmackDown, he has not even been on the show that often, and when he has been, it's been cameos. And you have Shinsuke Nakamura, who was a legend in his own right at New Japan, and then he went to NXT, became an even bigger legend, and then he came to the main roster, and now he's like everybody else. He has to look good going up against AJ Styles at WrestleMania 34, so this match has to be stellar, and I really think it can be. But unfortunately, Rusev is not going to win here because Shinsuke needs to look strong going into WrestleMania 34. So my vote goes to Shinsuke for the win. Now let's talk about some of these championship matches. This is going to be one of my favorite matches to watch of the night, and this is definitely a tag team match, the tag team titles match with the Usos versus New Day. The New Day has grown on me like, I don't want to say a word because words are ugly and people hate them. And I did think of them as that at one time, but I learned to appreciate all three guys. Big E showed me how aggressive he can be in his promo against the Usos for this past go home show for SmackDown. I love seeing that side of Big E because he's not just shimmy shaking and twerking and all that other stuff and shoving pancakes down his throat. There's a lot more to him than that. And plus, you know, mostly for me, it was the shimmy shaking, especially in the camera shots where you see things wiggle that not supposed to. But anyway, I'll move on from there. But I do appreciate Big E and his aggression when it comes out, when it needs to come out. And I have mad respect for him after that promo that he had with the Usos. And of course, who doesn't like Zay? I love Xavier Woods. Mainly because that dude is a master on the mic. He is very clever. And I absolutely love him. And I got a huge amount of respect for him as a gamer because he gave me a really great tip for Cuphead. And I was able to beat it. Yeah, thank you. And also for Kofi, the guy has had a really great run. I mean, he's not gone yet, but you know that Kofi always means business when he's in the ring. Seriously. And I got a mad amount of respect for Kofi. And this group has really helped his career a lot, especially after what Randy did. But despite all that, I got a mad amount of respect for all three men, especially how Big E's the veteran of the group. But then you got the Usos, who were boring as hell when they were faces at first. Oh my gosh, they annoyed the crap out of me when they were faces. But when they got serious and they became heels, they became more likable because their promos got some truth to them. And the fact that they were allowed to put some truth into their promos, well done. But despite their great promo work and despite the amazing feud that I have witnessed, and well, not really witnessed, but saw on television in 2017, they're going to do this again in 2018. And it's going to make an amazing match. But it's hard to call this down the middle on who's going to win because you got two teams that are pretty much the tag teams of SmackDown at this point. And do I want the Usos to win? Yeah, I want the Usos to win going towards WrestleMania for them to actually defend their titles because they got the shaft, and I can't remember if it was 32 or 33 or if it was 31. I can't remember. I think it was either 31 or 32. I don't know if it was 33 or not. If you guys know what WrestleMania they were going into to defend their tag team titles newly won after that Raw, y'all leave in the comments because I can't remember. But honestly, they won it at the Raw before WrestleMania, and I can't remember which one, but they never had a chance to have that WrestleMania moment when they won those titles, and they got shafted by that. But if they actually win the titles at WrestleMania and retain, they have their moment. They get their moment. And they haven't had it yet. The New Day's have multiple moments, but they deserve to have theirs. So in my opinion, my heart's telling me Usos all the way. I respect the New Day. I do. They make those belts look good. But honestly, the Usos never had their chance. So I want them to have their chance. And the New Day's already had theirs. So I want the New Day to win, so my vote goes to the New Day for the win for that reason. Now, let's go on to the Women's Championship match, the SmackDown Women's Championship match with Charlotte Flair versus Ruby Riott. There really shouldn't be much to talk about here because there's a lot hanging on the fact that Charlotte is going to retain to go to WrestleMania to face Asuka. And even though that hasn't been set in stone as of yet, there is a good chance that she might be facing Asuka. And it's a shame that Ruby Riott got thrown into the fray. Even though I love Ruby Riott, I love her on NXT, I love who she represents, I love who she is and who she was on NXT, and also who she is now because she is a strong leader. The problem is that I don't know why she has the title right now because her group has not done anything to show that they're a threat. I'm sorry, they haven't. So it doesn't make any sense for her to get the title or to be in that position for a title shot because her group is not that threatening. I'm sorry, they're not. But it also doesn't make any sense for them to actually change gears and start going after Charlotte. It doesn't make any sense for that either. But even though Charlotte's opponent has not been announced yet, there is a huge chance she's going to have one at WrestleMania 34. So she has to look good going to WrestleMania 34. So she's going to have to keep that belt. So my vote goes to Charlotte for the win. It's going to be a great match to watch, but Ruby doesn't have a chance. And as much as I like Ruby, the Queen is going to retain her title. Sorry. So my vote goes to Charlotte Flair. Moving on from there to the final main event of the night. which is AJ Styles, the champion, versus John Cena, Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, Baron Corbin, and Dolph Ziggler in a six-pack challenge for the title. Why do I even need to talk about this? We know who's going to win here. AJ Styles. John Cena can boast all you want about it being a triple threat. He ain't winning, man. We all know what the rumor might be for John Cena, and I pray to God it's not true. But despite all that, AJ Styles got to look good going up against Shinsuke at WrestleMania 34, and he will. He's going to set some moments. I'm going to tell you that. Everybody's going to remember everything AJ Styles did in that match. And he has to look good going up to WrestleMania 34 against Shinsuke Nakamura. It's going to be an amazing match. It's going to be the match that everybody wants to see. So, honestly, AJ for the win. There's really no point in talking about it. But other than that, guys, that's my predictions as a whole for Fastlane 2018. What are yours? Leave in the comments below. And I want to hear what you guys think before the pay-per-view. But other than that, I'm out of here. And y'all might hear a review from me after the pay-per-view is over. So I will see y'all later. Peace out.